Good evening, guys. So I might get demonetized for this, but I just have to talk about it. Prince William to appear on Jeremy Clarkson's TV show 2 years after hosts controversial Meghan Sussex comments. For those of you who don't know, this is Prince William, this is Jeremy Clarkson, this is Duchess Meghan. And for those of you who, for whatever reason, are living under a tree, or you don't come on the internet, or you just don't know what's been happening in the past 10 years, Meghan is this man, Prince William's sister-in-law. She is the mother of his biological brothers, nephew, and niece. She is the daughter-in-law of the current King of England. Jeremy Clarkson, I can't believe it's just 2 years because I've sworn it was. Anyway, Jeremy Clarkson did something egregious, as in, the thing about me is I've been online for quite some time. I've been on X since the pandemic, quite aggressively. And I've seen a lot of nonsense, racist, sexist. I've seen a lot of people make jokes about abuse, physical violence, violence against women. When I read Jeremy Clarkson's comments about Meghan, it literally knocked the wind off my sails. I felt my whole body recoil. I want to see if they'll talk about it here. Okay, no, they don't. And you know what? I don't blame them because the comments were that bad. But let me remind those of you who either didn't hear about the comments or you've forgotten. Jeremy Clarkson said something along the lines of, first of all, in that article, he starts by insulting some people. Then he goes into Nicola Sturgeon. I can't remember why. Nicola Sturgeon used to be the Prime Minister of Scotland. He insults Harry, saying that Meghan, first of all, he called Harry stupid, and then said he was, and basically made a disgusting comment about Harry being hooked on Meghan's, something vulgar around that Harry not being able to think on his own because he was wrapped around Meghan's finger. I am saying it in a much nicer way than what he said. Let's talk about what he said about Meghan. Even my heart is racing as I recall what I read. He basically said something along the lines of, Meghan, he ran it on her. He said that he hates her on a cellular level, 1. 2, he now said that he goes to bed at night and dreams about the day. Meghan is stripped naked, paraded along the streets where people throw shit at her and yell shame or something like that. Now, for those of you who don't know so he is referencing Game of Thrones. And the scene he is referencing is when Cersei was captured by, I think, this fanatical cult or group. One of the, I don't know, nuns. Is it nuns? Stripped her naked, or the actress was stripped her naked, more or less. Made her walk from the castle to the citadel, cut her hair, and just basically humiliate her. So the nun is behind her, a tall lady, ringing a bell saying, "Shame, shame." Cersei is walking slowly from the castle to the citadel, and she's walking through the crowds. Crowds are around her, and they're throwing things at her. Think about it, guys. A woman has been stripped naked, her head shaved, cut in an ugly style. She's bleeding, she's humiliated, and a nun is shouting, "Shame, shame," behind her. And people are throwing shit at said naked woman, throwing food at her, garbage. The act was to indicate violence. I call it sexual violence because the woman was naked, and there are people who get off on humiliating women like that. The scene itself is supposed to be painful to watch. Even though Cersei was a very difficult and disliked character, it was still, as a woman, very hard to watch another woman go through that. Or anybody, really, because it was horrible. Now, I'm thinking to myself, you can forgive a lot of things because it's fiction. So it's baffling to me that Jeremy Clarkson decided to reference that scene. That article that he released was so terrible that Ofcom received so many, even people that would normally bash Meghan, I think even they were shocked at the pushback. They couldn't believe it. it was so bad that Ofcom, the most useless media regulator that we have in the UK, received the most comments they've received, I think, in years, if not ever, based on Jeremy Clarkson's comments. And you know what Jeremy Clarkson did? When he saw he was getting backlash, he just said, oopsie, on his Twitter, that he was basically trying to, no apologies, by the way. He just said, oh, he may have gotten out of hand because he was just referencing a scene from Game of Thrones. The pushback was so bad. A lot of people spoke out. A lot of people spoke out. And the thing is, this nonsense he did was literally, I think, was it a few days? Or around the time the Harry and Meghan documentary came out. So it was still very fresh in people's minds, the trauma Meghan had gone through. As I'm recapping this thing, I have this pit in my tummy because that's how much it upset me, actually. I don't think I've been angry. That was the first time I started properly paying attention to the squad. I mean, yeah, the documentary was very painful to watch for Meghan. It's for me anyway. But that was the first moment that I thought, wow, okay. Now, I'm trying to give you guys enough, and hopefully my words are strong enough to convey how horrifying. Because imagine, I am not Meghan. Now, imagine Meghan hearing that. Imagine any woman hearing that somebody posted to their thousands, I think at that point, millions of followers, that they hated you on a cellular level, and they hated you so much that they went to bed at night fantasizing, committing sexual violence against you. I would like to remind everybody, Meghan Sussex is the wife of the King of England's son, Harry. A prince and heir to the throne. That is his wife, the mother of Harry's children, the mother of the King of England's grandchildren. And let me tell you, based on what I've just said now, let me tell you what the royal family did in response to that outrageous thing. Nothing. No statement was released. No comments were released. Nothing. Not one word was said. Everyone let the media come. The only reason why it was on the news was because people were complaining about, like, what the hell is wrong with you? Even Jeremy Clarkson's child had to speak up. The only reason why they apologized is because Ofcom got involved, and the backlash was severe, I have to say. Oh yes, Jeremy Clarkson finally apologized. Do you know who he apologized to? Harry. He didn't apologize to Meghan. I saw his apology. The British press were now insulting Harry and Meghan. Like, why shouldn't he accept his apology? And I'm like, okay, since people like to pretend like you don't understand when things happen for engagement, imagine if somebody had said that about you. Because a lot of women were defending you. I was like, if someone said that about you, about your child, about your sister, about your mom, your wife, your colleague, Seth, you'd be okay with that, Abby? Jeremy Clarkson has also used the N-word. I was actually very aware of that because I saw the video, I think in 2014, and he was sanctioned for that. They've allowed this man, because I keep thinking to myself, there are things that you will write and you will say and you wonder, why is nobody holding you accountable? It's one thing to say it on your own media platform, if you're on TikTok, if you're on YouTube, if you have your own newsletter. It's another thing to go through a broadcaster or a newspaper like The Sun and say certain things, and nobody said, nah, this is too far. You just let him go with them. If it makes any of you feel any better, The Sun was who recently issued Harry an apology earlier this year for their treatment of his mother. They paid all his legal fees and gave him compensation. As well as hacking him and making his life a misery. I think he was probably trying to get an apology for his wife, but I don't think that was possible. I think he would have tried. But anyway, I just wanted to let you guys get the full story, because I don't want you people to walk away from this thinking, oh, he just said some comments. I want you to hopefully, through my words, understand the gravity of how terrible the things he said was. Jeremy Clarkson called for sexual assault and abuse of the king's daughter-in-law, the mother of the king's grandchildren, Prince Harry's wife. And guess what your future king is doing to reward him for that? Prince William will reportedly appear on the next season of Clarkson's Farm, making a cameo 2 years after host Jeremy Clarkson's misogynistic and sexually inappropriate and dangerous comments about Meghan Sussex caused controversy. On May 11, The Times ran a profile on sexual pervert Clarkson, 65, and reported that Prince William features in next but one series of Clarkson's Farm. Season 4 of the hit series premieres on Amazon Friday, May 23rd, taking viewers into the next era of adventures on Clarkson's diddly squat farm in the Cotswolds, ooh la la, including his purchase of a pub. While the Prince of Wales 42 wasn't spotted on the official trailer for the new season, the BBC reported in March that he would appear on the show. The report emerged that William attended the event celebrating the Duchy of Cornwall's next generation of farming tenants in Bristol, England in March, met Clarkson's Farm stars Caleb Cooper and Charlie Ireland. Apparently, the meeting was so hilarious that Prince William shared with Cooper and Ireland that a really hilarious message from his oldest son, Prince George. You've got George watching now. William told Cooper, I can imagine. I said to him, what shall I say if I meet Caleb? He said, tell Caleb to mind his language. According to the outlet, Cooper took the advice in stride. Oh, for goodness sake. Cooper is the farm's manager and a popular personality in the docuseries, which follows Clarkson's successes and struggles running a large farm. Clarkson had long been in the public eye as a presenter of BBC auto show Top Gear, with his foray into farming a professional pivot. Season 1 of Clarkson's Farm premiered on Amazon in 2021 and as of 2023 was cited as the streamer's most watched original series in the UK. The Times reported in its May interview that Clarkson that the upbeat series had drawn tens of millions of viewers. Oh, good. At the article, they actually talk about the thing that he says. Let's do that. News of Williams' anticipated cameo on Clarkson's Farm comes 2.5 years after Clarkson wrote an article about Duchess Sussex that was widely criticized and eventually pulled by its publisher. In December 2022, the presenter wrote an article for The Sun about hating Harry's wife on a cellular level. See, I'm not making that up, guys. It's here. With language about dreaming to see people throw excrement at her when she is made to parade naked through the streets of every town in Britain. See? I didn't even think they would quote it. I'm not wrong, so you can't say I'm exaggerating. These are literally his comments. Clarkson later clarified in a tweet that it was a clumsy reference to a scene in Game of Thrones, acknowledged it had gone down badly with a great many people. He's a fool. The article sparked immediate backlash, and The Sun removed the piece from its website and its archives. Both The Sun and Clarkson issued apologies with the paper saying it was sincerely sorry. A spokesman for Duke and Duchess of Sussex disputed the claim that he apologized to both Meghan and Harry. I told you guys, saying in a statement to people that Clarkson only contacted Harry. In a statement shared with people in January 2023, the spokesman said, on December 25, 2022, Mr. Clarkson wrote solely to Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex. The contents of his correspondence were marked private and confidential. While a new public apology has been issued by Clarkson, what remains to be addressed is his long-standing pattern of writing articles that spread hate rhetoric, dangerous conspiracy theories, and misogyny. It continued, unless each of his other pieces were also written in a hurry, as he states, it is clear that this is not an isolated incident shared in haste, but rather a series of articles shared in hate. In June 2023, the Independent Press Standards Organization of the UK upheld a complaint against sexism surrounding Clarkson's offensive story about Meghan in a historic first. The Independent UK Press Regulator received 25,000 complaints about the piece, which the BBC reported a record high. Women are no longer prepared to endure sexism that the generations of women have been subjected to. This is a big step forward for women in the battle against sexism in the media, said Harriet Harman, chair of the Fawcett Society, one of the groups that lodged the complaint. Women's issues and gender equality are a focus of Duchess Sussex public work. Meghan's biography on the Sussex website states that which she shares with Harry, describes her as a feminist and a champion of human rights and gender equity. Her lifelong advocacy for women and girls, a constant thread of her humanitarian and business ventures. And we can see that through the Confessions of a Female Founder podcast, the With Love Meghan, she featured a lot of women on that. And we know there's more to come. I want many of you, while you're sitting down and pondering why I had to go into detail about this, is because I want to, these things I do are for the record. I don't know if anybody will ever read any of this or watch any of this beyond my tiny community of Sussex Squaddies, and I love you guys. But I want people who are not known to Sussex or to even the royal family to appreciate that the person, Jeremy Clarkson and Clarkson Farms, that you're watching on Amazon, that feels like a feel-good show to you, this man is a sexist, racist piece of shit. He uses his platform to abuse and harass women, and the fact that he felt no embarrassment saying something horrible like this about even if it's, to me, there's the woman part there, but he would never have said this about Kate. He would never have said this about Camilla, but he felt comfortable insulting Nicola Sturgeon. He felt so comfortable insulting Duchess Meghan, and I'm thinking to myself, like I said, not one member of the royal family even issued a statement. Camilla, the queen consort, is supposed to be the patron of domestic violence and abuse against women. Not even that one triggered her. And you know what happened? Jeremy Clarkson was seen cavorting with Camilla at her annual thank the press for making me digestible get together. He was there, as was Piers. We in the UK need to start holding these people accountable. Not only are they spending our tax money in an egregious way, they are playing in our faces, they are literally playing in our faces. Literally, they are laughing at us while they are spending our money. And I'm wondering how much longer many of us are going to keep on enduring this. This video is longer than I planned, but I just wanted to get a lot of my annoyance out of it. Shame on Prince William. Shame on you, William. Really? William, you had an opportunity to have your own boring show that nobody watched. So you decided that, okay, because you're desperate for attention, let me go and join Clarkson on his show. The man that abused your wife. I look forward to that show coming out. Share his attention that you want. I am going to give you the attention that you need. And I think every woman who calls herself a woman, whether you are white, black, orange, you need to react, because William is acting like he's acting like he's not accountable to anyone. This is a disgrace. By appearing on this show, William is telling us that he's a sexual abuser apologist and also a racist apologist. I mean, we knew he was racist because him and his wife were concerned about how dark Archie was going to be. But you know what? The fact that he doesn't care and he's just doing it to our face, honestly, it deserves a response. What do you guys think? Please let me know in the chat. Thank you.